Mene Mahamene Yesawa Mene Mene Mahamene Yesawa Mene Mene Mahamene Yesawa Mene Mene Mahamene Yesawa Mene Mahamene Yesawa Mene 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 Mene Mahamene Yesawa. Lasso Malata, Natanjan got in that. Charator Kadina Tonoto Yodan gets some other to in that.
So everyone, we're going to begin now, and all of you who pay attention to Dharma, Kishila wants to thank you all.
As a Jada done it, don't the logic, don't the
Kishila has a small sort of a joke, a story.
Member Kawas Hai Tasala Tacha Malar Bada Mabagat and Nata Lununke and Hago there is a Kawas Hai Tasolo, Chul Honke Marana, Chul Honke Tabalama, Pemasigo Tisu, Momboton, Rosso, Momboton, Chul Honke Arat and Palestino Gag Tisu Nara de Ores, Tika Golichu, the Bay, Chelo Chembo, Chembo.
Long time ago, when during better days in like during our time when it was in the better days where during the time there were great masters like Marpa and Milleraiber, and you have I'm sure you know if you have read their stories you would know during that time people they really travel miles and go through many hardships in order to receive teaching from teachers.
The Janani Jakas Jagatal Church also going to church as I go to Combajo. Brunica Jagatal Church also go Combajo, Dada, Lord of Lon, Rosoton, Castle Luton, Rosso Luton, Tissue Luton, Sugar and Alaton, Caledio Diaga, Kawazoton, Dakakulit, and Nanda that they were.
And during those, golden days, it's like people will travel months and months, walking to India to receive teachings.
And
there, regardless of danger to their health, or they'll expend whatever is necessary and time to go receive teachings.
That is on a church also, the Goroji, Goroji Lanaya, Gonke Media, Tishota, Tisholan get the Tangachongo, Tishok Chanima, that Mika and a Tinhima, Lankidama Chando, the Rashu Congo opportunity and a Chando.
So it's during the now, as the period degenerates, and then it becomes less and less people's interest in Dharma. And it's even if you have everything and you say, let's go and listen to the teachings, but there are less and less people interested in receiving this teaching. So this is a natural way how things degenerate.
Dita Tanga Pebig and Nonchu Jambala, Mali, Saji and Nonchu Jambaman Zamili Chulu Somalida, Chulu to La Tanachin, Noro. That does on a Chulu, the Kale, Kale, on a Chulu Soma, the Mewa Challenge, somebody, Ojakatanga Hede, that Langa, that the Malakale, Kalacombo Ponando, the old dozen.
So it's not only Buddha Dharma, but other teachings, different faith, they experience the same thing, and this is how slowly, like we're going through a path where teachings will disappear. It's same as the world itself will disappear. So this is how things are going. Therefore, Geshe-la wants to thank everyone who is taking interest and coming to the teachings. So it's when in terms of studying and learning anything, especially like Dharma, then it's even like you have to. There's no time where you say, okay, I've completed. That's not. You can never complete learning. You have to keep on learning, and this is something that will continue. It'll bring you benefit. Even if you're going to die tomorrow, you should be studying the Dharma. So, in terms of Dharma, understanding and studying the Dharma, this subject is really very important.
In
studying the Dharma, there is two ways or two types.
Juba 처음에 방고니 바로 녀라지는 사가 랑가지지 지르가는 따와 땡주 차니 봐서 너도는 녀라지선 사가 랑가니 요래 소래.
So these two paths are, one is the behavior, it should be non-harming behavior, and the second one is it's a view of interdependence.
먹겠지 못해도 가지 초말 그래도 초말 고래도 쪼가래 쪼그 차니 먹겠지 보고 찾아야보 소비기 전에 되네 가는 상치고 세도 이제 전부 던달 봐 녀래지 언더 대도 줘봐 처음에 발라니 봐 나타들에세.
So the non-harming behavior is where you so it's protecting the abstaining from practicing the 10 virtues and and generating bodhicitta and great compassion. And this is what we mean by non-harming behavior. So when we talk about the view of interdependence or dependent origination, that one is about so this is talking about how cause and effect is sort of works. So when we talk about cause and effect in the dependent origination, it says that without cause there is no fruit or result. Without cause there is no fruit or result.
Ona ganana ndrebe de mane jeta ko samewa. Ndrebe de jela tene ko go, jeta ndrebe la tene ko go. Chi mewa.
And if there is no fruit, then there is no cause. So it's like it's interdependent. If one or the other dependent on each other. So without cause, there's no fruit. Without fruit, there is no cause. So what we are studying now is about this subject, cause and effect.
So Gishla asked me to recap what we studied so far before we begin. So, 1 second. So first, we know that there is existent and non-existent thing. So the existent thing can be also called the established basis, because to establish the existence, you need a valid reasoning. And it can be also called the object of knowledge, because these things are knowable. Or it can also be called phenomena. So all these four things mean the same thing. And existence can be further divided into two things, which are permanent phenomena, such as space, and the other one is impermanent phenomena or functional phenomena. Examples are like a flower, a mug. And then the impermanent phenomena is divided into three, which are form, consciousness, and non-associated compositional factors. And then we came to cause and the result, or cause and effect. There are two types of cause. One is direct cause, which directly leads the cause which directly leads to the result, and the indirect cause, which requires the intermediary step to get to the result. Similarly, result can be directly come from the cause, which are the direct result, and indirect result, which has to go through an intermediary cause to get to the result. Also, the cause can be divided in a different way, which are two. First is substantial cause, and the second one is cooperative cause, which can be also called as the condition. For example, what we learned last time is, for a rise to result or take effect, it requires the rice seed, which is the substantial cause. And not only it requires the rice seed, it also requires water and soil for it for the rice to grow, which are the cooperative cause or the condition. So that's what we learned so far in summary.
진짜 간다디나 게 체슈 가르나는 뭐 가르나네 가르나는 다다냐라게 저다 해치시 제기 저다 드니데페 무시 게체모 다가서 뭐 저저라는 지 몸보도 해대야요데 들어도 그럼 저다 게체모르데 게 체슈 단단데 첸돌라 냐라게 저다 해치시 제기 진이데페 무시가 하고가 게체모르에세.
So when we studied of the law of causality, we studied the cause can be divided into, it can be divided in different ways, right? The first way is direct and indirect causes. Those are important, but what's more important is the other way of the division, which are the cause, which are divided as a substantial cause and the cooperative cause. So how we divide cause in this way is, you need to keep it in your mind is very important.
허페 무식인데 계시 모르겠어. 다들 가져가서 매도를 잡아. 단다 제시하서 매도게 신데데 매도게 냐래게 지듯이 매도게 사랑데 오라. 또 매도게 냐래게 지듯이 다 매도 모사그 사도 르 다쳐 사도 쳐더라도 해지시 제게 지듯이 딱 매바데 매도게 세면을 해지시 제 연아야 무도지 두 말에 매도게 세 간다 야보도 요아이나 케게 해지시 제 사도 치면은 매도지 두 말에 그니 니가 만소는 다 매도 짜니 지야매와 때 키워라 와서
So we went through example last week. We will repeat it here today. So we took an example of a flower. It requires the substantial cost of the seed of that flower and the cooperative costs such as water and oil. So no matter how good the cooperative costs are, such as you have the best water and the best soil, without seed itself, you do not get that flower. Similarly, how good the seed is, without the water and the soil, you cannot have the flower. So both of them are really important. You need the substantial cost, the seed, and the cooperative cost, such as the water and the soil, for you to get the result, which is the flower.
하여튼 배워서 단데 논초던 데 되는 강에 빼서 지게져 다른도 아마라게 돼서 지게는 빼게신 보를 가르라는 게 치지 조인다서 때 치지가 진짜 전방 공부 손절해서 게 치지 조인다서
So Geshe-la is going to
진짜
recite
저만
a verse.
빠데치라 논데 저 빠데치라 말 빠데치라가 손절해서 다 손키시나 쳐봐면 되고
Recite a verse from Pandey Choda.
가르쳐 요르라면 CPC에 나가와 레제 페누마이 때 해지시바 세시로 소를 된다 소요래서 다른 게 하나만 찍어서 와서 또 바데 쳐다가 송조래서
So what Geshe-la repeated was a verse from Pandey Choda, and he'll explain what.
던던데 와시 요르다는
So that is directly related to what we are studying right now.
디 가서 요르라는 냐도 다좀버 컴포터다 계산 냐도 다좀버 컴포터라는 냐무기 짜와도 제바 번도 코알이야 탄도디 냐도 다좀버 컴포터로 그래서 대체라는 마슈아지 상추사가 냐래 마지와지 근데 소소가 이쯤이지 돈이 또야다 단세 말이 빠빠라 알칼레전 상추사가 냐래 파가는 테라 알칼레전 근데 가는 단세 말이 박 짜와도 제바 번도 디네 냐도 다좀버 컴포터로 그래서
So there's one arahat that have achieved liberation through just solely practicing the emptiness, and they're not practicing the bodhicitta. So they're called Nyentura. They're called the one that has achieved the level of a Nyentu.
Hearers,
Hearing, right?
yeah, there are
Hearing.
two types of arahats. One is hearers and one is pratika Buddha. Right now,
Here we're
Geshe-la is
talking about
referring
the
to the hearers.
Hearers, yeah, hearers.
다 헤레 알아트 통으로들 냐도 다지고 컴포터로디 디 나요 켜줄 냐무티 소치야 요 말에 디 나요 코 퀄리티야래 요 말에서 다코 되네게 전축을 살에 냐래디 첸도는 그 소지 컴포 양도 대드마트 다 켜줄 냐무티 소 아니 지야 요 말에서
So when you achieve that level, then they will never fall back into samsara. They haven't achieved full enlightenment, but because they are free from all the afflictive emotions, and so as a result, they will never fall back into samsara. The reason why Geshe-la said it's related to this is
CPC에 나가와서 꼭 코알이야 타타르다서 냐무도서 찬소의 매워서는 CPC에 가차와래서 꼭 코알이야 타타와래라고 그래서
so because they have completely have freed themselves from three poisons of desire, hatred, and ignorance. So therefore, they are, they will, from this. Therefore, they are free from all afflictive emotions or obscurations.
다쳐서 니야지 년간들이 단단요에서 단단해려
So now, this is, you need to listen to that because this is where these come from, the next.
된다에 내도 다좀 봐대세.
This is.
된다에 내도 다좀 봐대. 해 다좀이 공부 마탑이 내거 사발로지 내거 터마 매번에 해 다좀이 공부 마탑은 해 사발로지 내거서 계주를 렌라 문란이 되어서 계획이 렌라 문라 거진라 문라기 지원 패식이 레 몸보도 계주를 요래서.
So before they achieved the arhat level of hearers, they have all kind of afflictive emotions in that.
스피셜리 나가월 니자 니자 거기서 거들해서 되지 니자로 스피셜리 나 다케줄에 레몬보 슈즈 여대고 그래서 해마 지원 해마 거라 다좀 공부 마통 해라 사가 저거 케줄에 레몬보 슈즈 레네 레가르난 라만다 몬보 요랑다만다는 레 지와 든다만다 두차고아데 야와고 두아고 하겠는데 렌 라만다 몬보 요래.
Because of their afflictive emotions, they have accumulated all kind of karma within them.
이나야 단다의 레근 레버드 콜럼 회아요 알라는 회아요 말에스.
And whether you are, if you say if this result will come to fruition, it will not come to fruition of what all the actions they have passed actions.
세모 슈소르 시피실에 나가와 레제 페누 마이테 콜 렌다만다 모부 슈요르 디 레근 나메근 레벨 콜 페투 마레스 레제 페누 마이테 해치시바 세시로라는 크줄을 해치시제 매위쇼 그 해치시제 처마도 빵차래 냐무투서 그게 레들을 해치시 냐무투서를 해치시제 지아즈 고르 디자니 계절이 냐무투서 처마도 매워서 자리 그게 레 가지 요하나 들 해치시제 진게 드진게 처마도 게 매워서 차 있자니 꼭 개설을 다 개설을 레가 나면 요 말에서.
So because they would not have that cause of substantial and cooperative cause, those two causes, it's because they have been free from that three poisons. Those causes, whatever they have accumulated karma action, they would never come to fruition because the causes have disappeared.
다들 디 나게게 다가르나는 다트 대신다 진인다 다가 정에 떼질라는 때는 다른 가서 내본 거만 떼긴 로아이다 뭐 가래 다 카통 가서 다 가서 철을 가서 다 카통 가서 시인데 그 당적해 된 되네 카통 가서 철이잖아 다 가서 스케를 야는 가서 지혜인 봐서 다 배는 가서 로아 민다 조아이는 주호도 가니고 그래 바나 샤타도 가니고 그래 다 카통 가서 들지 라인 뭐 제대로 피지 튀어서 있어 좀 어떠라면 되게 지자가나
Last time we studied about basically the external law of causality or the material law of causality, right? Such as how about the flower, and then we took an example of flour and rice. And then we further did a little bit discussion on the internal or the non-material, how the mind, the law of causality, the internal law of causality, how the mind is produced. And we did a little bit of how our consciousness is born. So your consciousness is born through your current consciousness. The substantial cause of that current consciousness is the moment just before that, the consciousness in the moment just before that. And the cooperative causes are your father and mother's substances.
What's the moment before that? Can you please elaborate? The moment before death?
No, the consciousness as a continuum, right? Just you can take that for 1 second ahead, but you can further divide second into multiple, right? Just the moment in time before your current consciousness.
Mas, you come here, this is better, Chem here.
Kishana yegi dilaira hada ngan thande ki sheba sta digi nyeleng judi sheba keching ki sheba de relaira and ko ki keching ki sheba na kharwel sound nge de shya say
ta Ma te to demo jure bana tari tanda gaso je no si yo de ad kato no shi nelere de kato no shi de bre de kato no shi de nyani no shi de bre de nyani no shi de mai nga no shi de mai nga no shi de chuang ha ma no shi de tana zama te wan do re
So you can take it also as your current consciousness is due to your yesterday's consciousness, which is formed from the previous day's consciousness. Keep going, and then it reaches the previous life's consciousness to just the moment ahead. So you can take it in seconds, hour, year, days.
no de
So in time, yeah, the one
that.
ahead,
Oh,
the
that.
one before.
Before you came into mother's womb,
어데 단디는 가르나는 다래 첫 토마토만 되기 좀 맞진 로 아니다 소리야
Didn't do.
근데 그래서 올랐어 예예 단디서 당가서 가르라면 당가서 다던 로 만다들 자와 있는 댄세 선다들 하고 온다 나시 되네 가는 주포 도다저다 나시도 주포니 되고라 다 주포들 가서 샤리 빠서도 지지 거럭거도 짜서도 지세인 바 제대로 이렇게 저 찾아 다다다래 당가전 로 말스 야가이나 다 진대건도 도던 로 말스 야가와이나
So today we will study the law of causality with respect to as a human being, with respect to a human body.
다도망아서 주포도 간다 둘이 지체 갈아 되네 고래 라들 고로와
So the first question is how our body is formed, due to what causes this body was formed.
나들라디 당가서 주포가 하도 타 빠빠서도 아메게 제게 녀래지 아바게 제게 해치시 제치발라 때네 조래 거 녀래들 해치시 제니 내바도 고대오라
So when we take an example of our body, so you can see it on the TV, the flesh, blood, and the skin, they are formed due to the substance from the substantial cause of those three are the mother's substance, and then the cooperative cause is the father's substance.
다들 가서 빼내 돌리 도와들랜다 좀 로켓이 2차전은 당가서 미 주포도 간다 둘이란 샤도 빠빠 샤리 빠서네 샤도 빠빠 타서도 내래 갈아 때네 주래 콜 해지시 제 가려요래라는 그게 내래다 아마게 제들아 때네 아마게 제드가 콜 내래 지레스 아베게 제드 콜 해지시 제 지레스 드니니가도 만소는 가서 샤도 타도 빠빠도 고사용 말레스
So when we go into the discussion, what is the cause of how our flesh, blood, and skins are formed? The answer is the mother's substance is the substantial cause for these three results, and father's substance is the cooperative cause for these three results, which are flesh, skin, and blood.
당가서 로꼬도 건다도 야마다 대다 짜서도 간이 내래 갈아 때네 주래 해치시제 갈아 때네 주래라는 그서게 내래도 아바게 제라 때네 주래 해치시제도 아마게 제길 해치시제 제발아 때네 주래
So then the bone marrow and veins or the blood vessels, how they are formed from the father's substance as the substantial cause and the mother's substance as the cooperative causes.
다 주포 나오지는 디소아서 당가서 주포 주 내래 족도든 디사소아서
So here we understand how the body is formed.
다 나시데 갈아 때네 주래 나시데 내래 갈아 때네 제네 해치시제 갈아 때네 주래 라지오라서
So our body, we can think of it in two ways, right? Our body is composed of the physical body and the consciousness. So here we have already discussed how the physical body is formed. Now the next question is how your consciousness or the mind is formed.
다다단다 체콜을 해줘 지바지만 나시도 랑은 나시 하마게 내래 지발아 때네고 나시 하발라는 다리 나시도 가짜 나시도 냐니 나시도 나시 랑은 나시 하마라 때네 냐래 지네고 그래서 원하고는 해치시제도 시제를 나와있는 아바 아마게 제드 콜을 해치시제지요레스
So your consciousness, how it is formed is your current consciousness is due to the consciousness just before that. It's from the yesterday's consciousness, and the yesterday's consciousness is from the day before yesterday's consciousness. These are the substantial cause for your consciousness. So your substantial cause and your current result of that substantial cause are of the same nature, right? So it is your current consciousness is due to the yesterday's consciousness and so on. And then the next question is, what is the cooperative cause for your current consciousness? It is the cooperative causes for your current consciousness is the mother and the father substance.
That's the other dodge that catches you the tat or that. Dodge that's landing in the him of goes on the thing I sent in Male Tayel, Ribicon my head son, telling us to the dollies on the same quarter sound, turning it down as a desert like was.
So we're getting to the main point. So I will tell you basically the framework of what we're going to talk about right now. Then we'll get to the main details.
당가서 로아 메 타나 언로ян체도 간다지 유아이나 세가거더니 제메제도 대두 양의 뭐뭐 슈즈와요라 당가서 야와리 뭐뭐 슈즈와요라 로아메 당가서 뭐던 데비트라나 야와라데 다서서 가거야 제거야 나나지가서 해피니스 라서 단다 다때 단다가서 지 야와 린다마나 뭐뭐 슈즈와요로 하서 야와 린다마나 뭐뭐 슈즈와요로 하서.
So this is with respect to the human beings. We all go through experience which are good, such as we experience happiness and so many things which are good in nature.
서서는 서서 스포트에서 야보연의 되게 강화도 정하고 서서 내가 야보라는 되게 강화 정하고 서서 너무 다리들아 같이 그더니 단라문다 린라문다 그더니 세가고야 리모부슈 고아요라 린라문다모부슈 고아요라 하세.
So there are lots of reasons that makes you happy, right? For example, if you're in a good health, sometimes you feel happy, right? Or sometimes when you get hired for a good job, you feel happy, or when you meet your family members, you feel happy. So there are so many reasons that people experience happiness.
다디 가고야 린라문다 자타까지 요아이나 처마 요마도 뭐포래 되어라 제베래 되어라 지라테니 조금게 짠짜래 되고 여대우로 와서 처마도 여대우로 와서.
So all these good experiences or the happiness, it does exist. We know that. And if it does exist, it is a result or an effect of something.
다코치 요아가서 크레요 요더로 요아뭐 소소로 좋아 요더로 뭐 예를 조동 토대요를 요더로 요아이네 다코 다 가서 라야는 파티 제리 뭐 그거지 공모보 이바지 공모보이는 거 jel라테네 고근키지 이바르데요로 와서 고 jel레브레 jel라테네 고근키 이바르데요로 와서.
So we all know that these are things, those good experiences and happiness or something that exists because you know that you can experience it yourself. Not only that, you know that others can experience it as well. So we know it exists. And then since it comes due to the cause and effect, we know it is an impermanent phenomena or a functional phenomena.
다그 지들라테네 고근키 이따니 콜 지스 요고르스 콜 지스 요는 콜 다가 해지시 제지 요고로 와서 해지시 제면은 그 지요난 데베 두면도 와서.
So since it is a functional phenomena and we know that it is a result of something, for anything to be resulted from to be a result, it has to have a cause which further divided, and it has to have a substantial cause and a cooperative cause.
다 디리게다 다 담아가서 기 세제하게 세가가 제가가 리들라 되다 디리들 지즈는 요공도 와서 다 제도 요라 콜 해치시 제자 요공도 와서 다 디그 제도 해치시 제니들 간다다 거사래서 땅아다 때려 하고 세모 하고 그래서.
So we experience this good experience and happiness, right? And we know that it must have a substantial cause and a cooperative cause. Now we ask ourselves this question: what kind of causes are required for these good experiences and the happiness to occur or arise?
다 디게 냐래게 제들지 아바게 아마게 제라는 게 계산에 요 말에 모두게 세나게 도돈들이라는 계산 요 말로 와서.
So the substantial cause for that good experience or the happiness, we cannot point to like it is the substantial cause is the father substance or something that we can point it to.
다치라서 가슴에서 땡겨요. 다 디지털 간다지 거사래서.
So can someone tell me what a substantial cause for such a good experience should be like? What do you think? Can someone answer? Tell anything. You can give whatever comes to your mind. You can say.
Good actions.
Yeah.
Good news.
Good news.
Yes.
Good news lana. Good news lana.
News.
Sanje yabo.
Say you have some morangi give it less.
Gary this. Sanje yabo.
Good actions that you've done in the past.
I see the
improvement is what that.
Yeah. That good news lana. That's church and good news lana. Good news. The Kogan. Tanda the Dananga Yawaga Rig just Homa Yoma Sonodon Rig to you jitter and Taka's good Kama la dad, good merit la dad at the Yores, one there at the Yores.
So the good news is very general.
Yeah.
But whatever good experience we go through, it is mainly due to the good merits and the good karmas.
That's cause social don't have you are never the goddess, pen and as on around at the pega, that's social and social Yawa Jindamanda shoes or social Chebo Yabatan Yawa Rindamanda shoe or Yawa Rindamanda Somawag did a social Yora. I thought so human or social Yoras. They did the calendar. Sosogichiwa Toma Meba Kadini in Aya Sosogichi, Les Ambo Shawayabo, the Kano Yabo, the Kituni Shawas Ambo Chega and Jodo, teacher the Yabo Wagi Jetrete, you remarried la Deadreta.
So we know that we can have various kind of good experiences, right? So all those experiences have its own substantial cost, and we all have all these substantial causes from the infinite lives we had, because we have been taking birth for like infinite lifetime, right? So at a certain point in time, we have accumulated that cost.
No. Tai abucho that's a dead. Tati Lechi, Tanga Kato Timba, Mato Jolo, Jun de Yoren, de Yomarilla, Yomari, Yawagoa, Duawa, Jun de Yoren, de Yomarilla, Yomari, just how much Mato Jolon so they were.
So there isn't any causes that we can say we do not have it. Because of our many lifetimes, we have all the substantial cause for the negative result. We have all the substantial causes for the positive result. We have all the causes. We have accumulated all the causes of infinite lifetimes.
Oh, they go there. Tanga so chat man, Pentecost, the hard day or the more and Jacko, you and Rippy and Puma to the other, call it Chairman and hard danger. Hetty check man on the hard danger that they would say.
Even though we have all the substantial causes, but we haven't experienced all the results yet. That is because we haven't come together with the cooperative causes for those respective substantial causes yet. When the substantial causes and the cooperative cause for that substantial cause come together, then only you get the result. Now we said that even though we have billions of causes, but we haven't experienced the result because we do not have met with the cooperative causes yet.
No, that under the letter Tata Teddy or Danga, Yawa, Tom, Jedder, Karanane. Les Ambotanga and Anchin under the Les Ambola and good merit la dad.
So you have answered it correctly. For all the good experience and good things to happen, you need to have the good merit or the good karma.
That good merit and get the Canada the Law in call it Shepa Inke or Shepa Mainke or as a Tanga Tanju Luga, Tanju later Zugas and tell you lower Tanga Paka Dolism Guaz or Shepa Inke or Shepa Mainke Zudo, lay Inke, Shepa Inke.
So when we analyze the nature of the good karma can be in the form of a consciousness or in the form that is not consciousness. So an example of a good karma, which is a consciousness, is for example, a mental attitude to practice dharma or any kind of mental state that you want to help others. So any kind of mind that wants to help others is a good karma.
With the motivation to help.
Yeah, with the motivation to help
Oh,
others.
yeah. Tatare tange te good kama de la shepa da shepa ma inke ni yo chore la imba shepa de pena nga so kelon zombo soma de good kama de yo res.
So all the good motivations are of a type of a good karma, which is the consciousness.
Kelon zombo la ka soso ma se ta da zon de kelon soso la ja chore soso ma se ta da zon de kelon zo ta ga ro ma se chola ta ma ni ma se ta da de ma zo ga so ga kelon zon do a a de yen pe ma te na ne za ni che me ni a so a kelon zon do a ta tra kelon ya shu ta good kama la de ga shepa inke gewi le inke tra ga chore se.
So the good motivation and good intention can be with respect to yourself. If you have an intention that you will live a good life, that's also a good karma. And then, of course, like intention to help others also good karma.
This that the Kenny Lano, Sosamasa Tato Damba Chegua, so Kenny Lani, Sosamasa Tato Damba Chuagi, Che, the Churl Hojo, Chia, Church, Sansa, Gora, Tamale, Patuag shower, Kocho shower, some other Gay Chandor. So, cause Zua Mare, Shepa Mare shower at the Esila, the Eshilunda, or that they were at there, gay that they were.
So, the good intention to live a good life and then to practice dharma, go for prostration, do prostration, go for circumambulation and helping others, all a good karma is neither a form or nor a consciousness. It's a good action.
So it's like with the right motivation as wishing to benefit oneself and make your life meaningful. So everything, and then doing whatever, from prostration and meditation and practice, that all becomes your cause for happiness in the future.
Then this are then I Tandakaran and a gay lay thinking. Zuin kids, you're lying by Hipa my kid, the Karagaula in Asen.
So I also mentioned that there are some good actions which are not consciousness. An example is
That's also good on board, Rala Pemba, the Rala Pembi Keno on board, Rala Pemba, Yala Pemba, Tandaki Kenel Hane, Omane Peme Hola, Kananima, Omane Peme, Omane Peme Hola Dag, Kanama Manik, that I didn't do. The gay lady, Jared, they were Zure, they were gay lady, they were.
so you having a good intention to help yourself and others, even wanting to benefit yourself is also a good karma. So, for example, with the good intention to benefit yourself or to others, you say a mantra such as Om Mani Padme Hum. That verbal action is not a consciousness, but it is a good karma, which is not consciousness.
Oh, yes, that doesn't get pented. My Tama, so get on board to Tunima, Chulu, Agadarem, Dambakaran, and Damande, Agadarem, Atoya, Agadar. So my yuma, the Chudatoma, Chushu, Datsoma, the gay later, they were.
So this is just one example. Whether you are reading like Dharma texts or saying other mantras, any kind of verbal action that is related to the dharmic actions are all good actions.
Oh, that telepalo. Allojon Magili, la Chipares, Magili, la yo, at the target, Tanda Chipachicha, get on Maro to Tony, Rala Neva, Yala Nebi, Shawa, Khan, Chewada, Magili, and order take a can on some other Magili, Kepa Inke, Magili, and order. Can you allojon?
Then the opposite is the bad action or the non-virtuous action is just the exact opposite of that. With the wrong intentions, you do it's something that harms you or the others, so these are all non-virtuous actions.
Rala Nugel, Rala Nundugel, Yala Nundugel, Rala Nundugel, the Camore, Gachi, Gasanaga, Rala Nundugel, Yala Nubachendugel, some other that Rala is in the Sijak and that in a college Nubachendugel, some other. So
the intention to harm yourself, which might be rare, or to harm others, these are all non-virtuous action.
Oh, that they were. Then I got a lana, Nag Tunimala, that's it, Duchakala, the Mulpena, 당아서 내미 다야 빌리가는 가는지 파반다몬들라 천다몬들라 다 칭해 막 감회와 탕주게 칭해 그 잡소마도 메게레데 요레세.
So also your verbal actions such as calling people names like pigs and so on. So any kind of harsh words or the bad things that's coming out of your mouth are all non-virtuous verbal actions.
And that also harms yourself and others because eventually it's a negative karma you're accumulating.
다다기 좋아들에 다다 줘서 다들에 가서 개위에 메리트 개위가는 good 카마라 메리트 야와 메리트 야와도 가래 되거든 야와고 하기 제대 컴 들어대 요래서 야와고 하기 제대 단다데 good merit the good 카마다 돼 요래서.
So going back to that question, what leads to the good result? Yes, the good merit leads to good result.
어들 다 찌포래 당아서 두짜고 하게 어디 레드 당아서 두짜고 하게 레드 두짜고 하게 제대로 돼 당아서 쇼쇼니 레라 되어 맞아 언니 제대로 거로 두짜고 하게 두하고 하게 제대로 돼 그래서.
So the same thing applies on the other side. To experience bad result, you will need a non-virtuous negative karmas.
다들 해치 시체 가르고래라 데 콜로 트윈게 가르고래라 다 kello ducha tsama de dua ledel hachi si che che no kello ducha ke kenelane shawang ba tsama de dua gwa ge ledel hachi si che ropa che ne tel bucha jon ro re se.
So we have accumulated all those good and the bad causes, right? Then how does it goes into the result? So your intention, when you have a good intention, it acts as a cooperative cause for the good causes to lead to a good result. If you have a bad or negative intention, it acts as a cooperative cause for those negative or substantial causes to lead to a bad result.
다 든단다서 나가서다니 네 레벨 거마 진로서 드라이어 라야보도 태와요 그래서.
Now we will go in details into the divisions of the results, and then we will be clear on the result. We'll know more about the result.
Yeah.
Yes.
If a person... We can't hear you.
Yeah. I use that chair. Yes, yeah.
If a person has a good intention, meaning an altruistic thought, but that person cannot materialize the altruistic thought for A, B, C reasons, is that still a cause of merit?
The Quran kidila so kisi michi laiwa no the guru sangwo chewa so dan ni pen de guru ine dan di guru sangwo yo samma do the chawa di chite mar da guru sangwo
yeah.
ani di diga de yuya wo je chagro ya la stem la sa di yuya wo je ro ya
야 뭐 사지 쨌다는 가서 그냥 네번 걸고 그래. 내가 가는 결혼 한번도 다라 걸어 게일에 차오래 맞도 그 게일에 차오래. 다 게일에들 영어 주선 초월란 케게 게일에 차오 말하면 저 게일에 차오래서 다들 단다 주주 뭐 보러 가서 사님 네번 거만 레버려서 온도서 야.
So yes, it is having a good intention or the motivation, even you cannot act on that, is a good, yes, it is a good cause. Even though it's not a fully functional good cause, but it acts as a good cause.
배나 케게 들어와도 야분나 줘. 케게 세마 채고. 다는 안에 벤사 지켜고 케게들 케게 단다. 아마라.
He'll give you an example.
케게 들어와도 야분나 준대요. 매다 케게 들어와도 야분나 되대 배나를 때들 가서 도와날 가서 나는 다른 학원에서는 뭐 찾아나를 제가 야보서 나지요 하고 다른 학원에 그 산로 거다 선을 근데 그 길은 선이 뭐 저도 건달 해왔지.
So for example, I will give an example. Let's say I have seen a good object inside somebody's house, right? And I went to that house to steal that object. With the intention to steal that object.
Kokana Magi gonna Kuzag Magi later sour,
Just having that intention to steal that has you have already accumulated that negative action that you wanting to steal the object.
That is our method control has an 당에 뒤하고 말다가 그 전에 잠체야 되냐봐 제하고 싸우던 요 내가 발른 철칼로고 있나.
So you reach the door of that house. Then you realize that, oh, it's not good. Then you change your mind and return.
다기를 깨로도 가는 그 전도 가는 매게 가는 그 저기 매게 가는 레트 레드 레드를 영원 주서 만토에 있더니 더 총총도 맞아 사요 말에 소아레선.
So yes, you have the bad intention to begin with, but you haven't completed the intention into the action. Because of that, you have collected a small negative karma, like small negative cause for the negative karma, but it's not like the full negative karma.
어떤 당가전 대본 거 같은 저도 단 대본 걸로 때지 하고는
So same thing applies on the positive side. Having a good intention, it leads to a small good cause for the future result. But even though since you haven't acted it, it may not have the full result, but you have collected that small cause for a future good result.
다 그때 생각서 그때뭐 생기배잖아 깨게 떠서 그때뭐 시와 있는 결혼 전부 있는 여인비 철이다. 결혼 전부 이렇게 여만 이렇게 싸니 매래다.
So Geshe-la said, to put it in a simple terms, if you have a good intention, it is a good action.
다 결혼 두자지는 결혼 결혼 두자들로 결혼 두자 후체주고 두파 후체주서 두파 떠체주서 그래 결혼 다 후체주라네 여다 결혼 정에 간다이나 결혼 두자지 이 천추고 결혼고 나서 스탈다 후체주 간다지 이와나 결혼 두자지 이는 먹이 쳐래다.
Similarly, if you have a negative intention, it is a negative action, but depending on the intensity of that non-virtue. Yeah, it has become a non-virtue, but and it depends on the intensity of your intention.
that's another. 당가선 니고 맞힌 저도 이제 내면 거 맞히 쉬어려다야.
Yeah, 디부고랑아서 근데 로주래 계실라.
로지리다. 다 사버리다. 당가서 사버리다.
Now we are going into the new topic. We
다
haven't.
지리든 가서 해 차와래다.
So we are finished with a topic on the causes.
다 다기 때 시간이 내 때전 테마 써거든 연지 해임 봐. 저는 계시주 년래지 해치시 전도 년래 종조 아래다서 살냐 때와들다서.
So we have finished the topic on the causes, and before we go to the next part, please remember and keep it in your mind the two different types of causes, the substantial causes and the cooperative causes. Please keep in mind those are very important things that you must know.
단단가서 처마 요마듯이 미리 때는 가서 처마 요마듯 강하면지 야본다 요대 까대도 야보고가 제들라가는 해치시체 야보도 테디 까대라 때니레데 요르다서 등가서 하고 고래서.
So we are all born as a human beings, right? Which is very fortunate. Not only that, we are in a good health and good positions. That's all due to we having a good causes previously. Not only that, we have created a good cooperative cause to resolve those substantial causes into a good result.
가지고 가서 해치시체 두아도 많대야도 까투다 고래다 샤왕에 밖에 홍에 받 가지바 까투는 해치시체 두아도 태우 말을 해치시체 두아도 많대는 두아고 하기 제들 그 니후 가요 말 그걸 제가요 말했어요.
So as much as possible, we should stay away or prevent the negative cooperative cause, which are the bad intention, from arising. As long as you stay away from the negative cooperative causes, it will never result in take it to the bad result. So stay away from all the negative cooperative causes.
So all the seeds that you have planted on negative will just lay dormant. It will never come into
야, like a limit handle 거.
it's become sort of useless for the time being.
야, 당가선 만로디야. 근데 사바리다서 당가서 지리 되게 차르다. 단 레버 사바드레스.
So this is a new topic, results.
알랭 아진데 말. 단데나 말 Debi Tashibada, Debi Tashibaland. Debi Tashabadala, Tan Debila, Tan Debicatel and Chejan Debicata is Chejan Debilan, Cadana Gelatani Chia, the land table, Gelatani Chicken, the land table.
So the meaning of a result is that which is produced from a cause.
Tagan Devan Tamanyangamar, that's a hogwood. Tan Debiina, Rang Gelatani Chibi Chores.
So if something is a result, it is produced from a cause. That's guaranteed.
A tan debila yen and the Tosharagan Kamar, the Hakonabatan, Debita Yena, Munde or Jundel and Ni orders.
So this is not an important part, but it's good to know. So result can be divided into two, direct results and the indirect result.
Tang was a Chejadala Munde or journeying as kind of wrong jilling was a Chebadala Munde Laures.
Direct result is that which is directly produced from its cause.
Wrong jilling was a Cheba Shayu Mopoina, Mopoy Vision Sagares. Taco Munde Laguada. Wrong jilling was a Chebijan Sagar called Munde Laures.
So as it is written, the direct result is called direct result because it is directly produced from its cause.
Paying on another key with the La Chemachilun and you pensere Gagana, sort of go.
The one of Vincent
Or you pensere Tata Chemalu.
So such as the fire and the smoke are example of direct cause and result, right? The fire directly leads to the creation of the smoke. So that is an example of a direct result.
That's my Takare when the Jundi get the rest as well. Pena met or 20 Lepega, he say, take his tata. Then Mama, do the touch it to my Lucio.
And then the indirect result is something that is produced through an intermediary. For example, firewood and smoke. Firewood does not result the smoke directly, right? It has to catch fire. Then that fire causes the smoke. So it went through the intermediary of the fire. So this is an indirect result. These are
Tyon Rebel, they jury to go in now making Rebel or Gentang and David Dabon Rebel as a less.
no, did to you.
Ndojiro. Tatake Chamuringa, so that tea and sugar Chasaba Lucius.
So do the long side.
Let's say, oh, Tata,
So now the next is 5 types of result. So this is important.
Tatake Chamur. Tachatong in the Tritagai, the Tomongas and the Game, Rebel in a day, Jerigoni and Ala Gurgeon Sagaran, David Line, not making Debuji.
So the first is ripened result,
Taigan Debu,
concordant result,
Namela,
datungi debu. You think it.
not make Debut or Gentag, I'm not making Debu, Gentag and Debu, Dapug and Debu, Jibishibin Debu.
So the 5 are the ripened result, concordant result, dominant result, result of personal effort, and result of separation.
That's the issues. That the issues. That time was okay. Cheshu, the Tambo not making David. The day jury going like Guajin Carolina, Midi Nabad, tying table lad and David when near Maris got that tapal got they were tying table. Dampa chicken on you got that the tying table, Tandy, Ila would say. Dampa Dabajiganala Tamang. Oh, that's a kitchen gentle. It's the tender the Lambangabadi, Chetang and Dinolo, Debele and a day Jerigonila in Dua. The Nojino here thought that the Nasoma day Jerigonila Penat Nabada. Trying Debel and Kid and Debel will need the Rayomare.
So among these 5, the way it is put in the order, the result of the separation, the 5th one is not an actual result.
Trying Debel the Carolina and Debel money, my Bajin Carolina and Congo Pomara Tapara.
The reason it is not an actual result is because it is not a functional phenomena. It is a permanent phenomena.
Oh, Cotoni, they were
It is emptiness.
Tangasa Demba Zigan on it. Godel, I think, in the Trandid and the light.
So we know the 4 noble truths, right? Among those 4 noble truths, the 3rd one, the truth of cessation, is the 5th result, which is the result of separation.
Oh, that's it. Then 집시빈 레벨라 대야데 저도건 되지더라도 그 진택인 레벨 딱 그로 되어가서 다리 개첨부 말해서 다리 가서 개체셔도 너무 이뻐 썸바서더래서.
So today we will focus mainly on the first three. Those three are the most important. And in the fourth one, Gisela Karisumi.
지바도 나바니들 가서 다리 시작 개첨부 말해서
So the fourth and the fifth are not important at this point. So we will not focus too much on those two. But the first three we will focus.
가르라는 다 가서 개체셔도 다리 담보 이뻐 썸바서더래다.
So the most important things are the ripened result, concordant result, and the dominant results.
단 남해겐데 단디 그 말은 아니 남해겐데 그 단다든데 막 가요 저래서 온도 뇨와 전태겐데 시바 전태게 단디나 벤세 가요래 전태겐데 니유 남해겐데 달아 체추 소도 덴바 굿데스 남해겐 데베들 체조 선소 고래라 그래. 그때지 체조 참고 창도 저런 아니 체조서도 해야 해. 그나마 날라요서. 뒤에 되게 체조 찔러셔도야.
So the ripened result must have three characteristics, which are the result itself is neither virtuous or non-virtuous, and then the result included in the continuum of a sentient being. It must be part of a sentient being, and it must arise from a contaminated virtue or non-virtuous karma.
다들 체조서 질라가. 다티긴 뒤와서. 더시스나네.
Okay, Geshe-la thinks it might be a little bit hard concept, but we'll try. We'll go through it anyway. If you don't understand, it's okay. Don't worry too much.
담보들 가르는 개와도 먹개와 간데야 로도 맞템바 란도아세 남해긴 데베 크라라들 라우레 남해긴 데베 크라라드 개와 마임바 먹개와 마이 개와도 먹개와 가 마이 키즈 고레 라우레 단다드 남해긴 데베드
condition is the result itself is neither virtuous or non-virtuous.
개와도 먹개와 간데야 로도 맞템바 고레서 남해긴 데베드 란다마 남해긴 데베드 테네카는 과사기 지어지 디바스 고레서 과사기 시주를 디바 시바던 되어요 고레서
So it should be something that is related to the continuum of the sentient being's consciousness. We are talking about the ripened result itself, okay? So the first two conditions, it is with the respect to the result itself. The third condition is how it arises. So we are talking about the cause of that result, okay? The cause has to be arising from a cause which is either contaminated virtue or a non-virtuous karma.
Okay,
we will just do this much for this part, and then the next one. Then the concordant result. So the concordant results are divided into two types, which are experiential concordant result and the behavioral concordant result. These are very important. If you do not understand, it's okay. It's okay. We will go through a few examples. It's not that difficult. So the first experiential concordant result.
ala so ba do ta ka ji ka le jana ya pen jo ya bo cha ma to na sa ya to ka nga sa de ala so ba ta da lo shu ko po la de che to da lo shu la po da de no didn't take in table is it.
So examples such as somebody not living fully their lifespan. So when you're born, you were born with some sort of given lifespan. But there are people who died before their actual lifespan. And then some people who experience poverty.
That jeba didn't take in table and get a candas group.
And then the second one, the behavioral concordant result.
And I search about Seba Lambala Gawa, search let American Devon, Gaza, Jewish, that is the Taga in the Hidokan, and decided check the Banichi, but it did look at the Negani politics, you know. There are Tatana some digging that. They caught them also, caught them also. They were the cases saw you, and the cases saw the city dead, and now living there. That's think about. Oh, now make a devil like the Gentag devil, like the Dande, and the Dapper devil, Dande, like I got Dande, like all that, and Razolo.
So we're going back to the three important results, ripened, concordant, and the dominant result. So the third one, the dominant result, for example, someone who takes delight in stealing and killing.
That's such a garden cause the Corotio Miguel Tim Miguel Legan Drebetala, now Megan Drebet, Gentag Drebet, Dante's all.
So, for example, someone who enjoys the thought of killing, right? So that person has accumulated the cause for the next life to
Hi, Peter. It's Frozen.
that result which is associated from this negative action is of three types.
Not making the bird,
So these are the ripened result,
Gentag the bird,
concordant result,
Dande.
and the dominant result.
Oh, that's the on the wire.
So those all three results can be arisen from that particular cause.
Oh, 와파도 매우 잘하죠.
There's no wife. I think
근데 추적으로 와파 매우 잘하죠. 알아, 딴데서요.
Yeah, it's back. Yeah.
알래.
I'll turn it off and come.
야야야. 라틀라나. 근데 진짜 다디가 남는 게 버티 가르라는 다 수집에 매게 일해지요라. 수집에 매게 일해지가 남는 게 버티 가르라는 소소 세토알아서 봐. 다 제마주 많이 캐야 세토와도 남는 게 버티 해소로래서.
So the ripened result due to that action, which the action of a killing in your previous life is having a short life, such as having a short life in your next life.
남는 게 버티요. 다 전태가 되게 발라데 다들 수집에 매게 일해 가는 그 소소 지와시마 지와라고 들려. 지치초권이 지지 수지야를 지 가den게도 수지야를 지 간나요 된게 또나요 된게도 진짜 차고도 다 전태가 되게 버티요.
So the concordant result of you having killed things in past is when you're born in your next life, you have likelihood to killing or enjoying like the innate enjoyment of killing, right? You're born with.
They enjoy killing like before.
그래. 다디나는 남행인데 보다 전태인데 보니까도 소소하게 지와 셔말로 소소하는 요 아들에 요런 남행인데 전태인데 보니도.
So the result, which are the ripened result and the concordant result, are something that you will experience yourself in the next life.
다 단데 일하면 봐올라데 다 답은 대별랑케도 다 소소던다 수집이 레게 남행인 대부터 채토와데 차소. 근데 전태인 대부터 소소지 수지 알아 가야라 소바 다달 떠나야 된게도 전태인 된도와 다가 단데 라된게 다 소소 지워래서 그 이자고를 지워래서 그 롬바 퀄리나 티 롬바 되노 지스트라마시 된게 수지에다 다만툴라서 다만툴 말 다가이나 그렇지 던다 투수 뭐보여 돼서 세리에 뭐보서 돼서 던다 지워래도 단데 일메와라는.
So we said that when you kill if you like killing in this life, the ripened result of that you will have a short life in your next life, and the concordant result is you will enjoy killing wherever you're born. Those are two things, the results that are directly related to yourself. Then the third result that you experience is a dominant result, which is not directly related to yourself, but you are born in the places that experience a lot of violence and killing and so on.
다다가라데 데네 소제메 게벨레 게체바젠데겐데 버로니고가 지와치마 소치발라 이제게는 그 딱글아 지바치 저르다게 나본데 보는 다다본데 베케마 그와치
Same thing applies to stealing as well. So right result of stealing is you being born as poor in next life.
Yeah,
if you will be born as a poor in your next life, if you steal in this life, that's the ripened result.
And
the concordant result will be you enjoying stealing even in your next life.
lomba charita는 매개고서 대체 야보 medesa 가르기나 lomba 쪼보요.
And the dominant result would be being born in a country lacking resources, poor country, like.
요들에 다단나가서 지 계획이 내체 대하다가서 좀바 요마도 계획이 내 야보도 달라야다 남에겐데보다 나버겐데보 전당인데보 소마디가 되어다서.
Same thing applies when you engage in a positive action. Then when you engage in positive action, you will have a positive ripened result, concordant result, or positive dominant result.
다 계획이 내가서 남에겐데보다 지와네 지와 소소 지와 야래 지와래도 배나 천들 가서 미지와래 되는데 와서 미지와라니 어진다다 지어시면 내려야와 내려야와 야와 야와 지와야 야래 야래 지와래도 게일레가 남매게 되버데 가지고 그래서
So the ripened result of your positive action would be right now you're born as a human being, right? It's a very good, very good realm. Then having done more positive action, you will be born in even a higher realm.
언데서 되네 게일레가 남매게 되는데서 아든 되네 게일레가 가라는 전타게 따서 지어시면 취지야다 지 다지 이제르지 로바지야라 간도 돈도 기존 지선원도 다서서던데요 가리나 정도 용기 야와 샤와 야와들 진도 용기 정도 용기 깔리죠 등기 어떤 전타인데 붙들고 그래.
And the concordant result for your positive action will be in your next life, you enjoy doing good things, helping others, engaging in the Dharma practice, and so on.
전에 나쁘 일안 가래 단데 일안 해발라는 다서서 그 게일레 그 네버 단데 일안 해발라는 다서서 롬바시대요서 전에 지 최저상 대제요서 소속 거냐 이제와 이는 대제요돼서 단달 진도래.
And the dominant result for your good actions will be being born in a peaceful land, and if you have all the resources to engage in the Dharma practice and whatever you want to do, that the resources are all available for you.
그래. 단한지 가서 제대 그 가서 가르나는 드파치지요 말에 드파치지요 말에 잠보 제거를 삼바 잠보서 고를 나가서 정말 요마를 설게 잡다산도나 삼바 잠보서 고를라서 고를라게 맞아서 고마르라게 할로 요마로 와서.
So we know that usually we say that whoever you ask, they tell you to be kind and not to engage in the negative action. No matter who you ask, everybody will say that.
그래서 단타도 봐서는 야보서가 삼바잠보서 야보서가 처음에 가르라는 해지시제 차대로 해지시제 그거를 야와 들어봐진게 차대요 그래서.
So the reason we say that is by engaging in a good action or having a kind attitude, it acts as a good cooperative cause for a good result. That's the main goal, creating a good cooperative cause. All these good actions acts as a cooperative cause.
가서 가르나는 저도 가르나는 로 리조나 헤네 거라 댄세먼도 린다만다 뭐 쉬운도 아서 티는 로 미노 이나 린다만다 쉬운도 레레는 슈보이 된게 레레는 우포이 된게 레레는 강아 쉬우여 된게 레레는 가게 강아메 된게 다 린라면 하서려 와서 로 미리노 안다면 하서려 된다.
So we know that in samsara there are 6 different realms with the various resources, and even within the human realm we see that there are different levels, right? There are people who are so rich, ultra rich, middle class, poor, ultra poor. Yeah. So we were born in various classes. Why are people born in such different classes? You ask yourself.
가르를 해지 시제 후천 못한 도아이나 더 오래서 또 저박 오랜 주어도 해를 더 오래.
So all the people have, just like we said earlier, all the causes, right? Because of the cooperative conditions or the cooperative causes that they have created, they are born in different classes.
당에 찔라고 대대대체서 돌리나서 가서 좋아 돌리든가 해서 아인다서.
So we will, I'll say one and we'll do a little bit discussion on that.
당가서 초반 영마도 흑건게 흑고아마서 지와 심마지 지와라 영키스 켈라든게 저저를 해요. 산데는 초마도 켈라든게 저저를 해요.
So everyone here, we believe that we know that we will die, right? And I think we believe in the rebirth, and we will be born take a birth next life.
당가서 지와시마 지와라든게 그 장자 이산이 지와시마 지와 야와서 라이와를 두와서 라이와를 소소소설 좋아서 그거 있나?
So since we all believe that we will be born in next life, now ask yourself whether we will take a good birth or a bad birth.
다 소소 도발해야 돼 우리 도발해야 돼 우리.
So it's doubtful, right? We can't say that what kind of life you will take.
소소 지와시마를 지와 야와서 라이와를 두와서 라이와를 라투 말해서 도발해야 된다 와서.
So it is doubtful. We cannot come to a concrete conclusion whether we will take a good birth or a bad birth.
아주 지와시발은 로아 리투기 지와래하기 지는 가서는 여대 그래서
So we have caused to be born in any of the 6 realms in this samsara.
아바 내게라 저는 가서 지와시발은 냐와 지와래하기 지는 가서는 그래서
So we have the cause to be born in the hell.
지와시발 가서 여다 지와래하기 지는 가서는 그래서
We have the cause to be born in the realm of hungry ghosts.
지와시발 가서 미 지와래하기 지는 가서는 그래서
Similarly, we have the cause to be born as a human being again,
하이 지와래하기 지는 가서는
as
그래서
a god.
땅에서 가르치야래 그러려고 나서 뒤적 가적 가들 해지시제 그 첨부 또소와 있는 뜬 할지야래 그래서
So we know that we can be born in the any realm, right? Because we have accumulated those causes. But what is the actual birth you will take? That depends on the cooperative cause or the condition that you create.
다 때들이서 롤린다 도한다 이런 가서 도와달라니까 했어 가도 그 멋지진데 내가 저들이 자고
We have around 10 minutes, so if you have any questions, you can ask. We'll do a little bit of discussion on that.
또 도박 가래 요나라 초르다 도박 가래
Whatever doubt you have, you can ask that.
대만아서 때려다서 내질라고 단단한데 나온처나 만든다잖아 제자나잖아 해우래서 매 해줘도 쳐서요 이샤서 고마르다서 도파서 롤리서 고래서 롤리 내봐서 그래 내봐 그래서
So I am teaching you these concepts, right? You don't have to blindly believe me whatever I'm saying. You should ask me questions. We should do discussions.
배차지하고 가정가서 대식 질라서 가되게 빼패서 저대처럼 가정가서 따빠걸로 체리나로 따빠도 가려는 매우 차도 요 말인데 판타진대서 요를 같은데 저 체리나 해수 요사를 치질라서 나한테 son도 못 보시고 거기 나한테 야부 쉬운 토송제
Last week, it was very beneficial for me that I asked him a question about permanent. So he gave a lot of thought about that. For example, he said in the class that space is permanent, right? So I asked Geshe-la, according to the modern science, there's a model by Albert Einstein that they talk about the fabric of space and time, right? Which the space stretches and contracts. So it was very helpful for him. He gave a lot of thought on that.
아주 가르나는 소마요마도 가장 가게 내 떠도 하고 그래서 내 떠가 아니 간단하게 해 되나 나한테 아니 간단하게 줄을 예매에 간단하게 해 되나 소마지 하고 되네 서서 그지 가 선어 떠투아 디디바 선어 떠는 따티는 아니 년가도 원에 서서 놀 태쇼도 가더라도 서서 살가 이제 채쇼도 가는다 되네 기대만 알아서 맞아 예지미지 남백이 지현둘라 뒤tun로고 아요 말 예지미지 체리기 지현둘라 뒤tun로고 아요 말 예지미 줄을 예매기 지현둘라 뒤tun로고 말 너무 소마지 하고 되네 서서 놀 버체쇼 같이쇼 롤 태치쇼도 가랬다는 되네만 들어가와 있는 여러지야요 말해서
So it is very important to listen to all kind of knowledge, all kind of information, whatever information you can gather those information, whether it is from the Buddhism or from the modern science or even from the other religions. Just gather all the information and analyze it yourself. Then think what makes sense. So you have to follow what makes sense. You just don't have to believe because of what it is said in something, this or that.
아주 미치기만 들었는데 말을 타치 튀어짜니요 말해서 타치.
So one person cannot conclude like something is this or something is that.
배나가서 남비기 추는 일이 잡으러라고를 라지해서 이제 대차주도 리 잡으러라고를 슈티 서보 쇼참보 뭐로 해요래 체리게 리 잡으러란 게 케크라래 말해서.
So in Buddha Dharma we have they have written a lot in detail about the Mount Meru and how it is formed, but modern science does not believe in the Mount Meru.
때는 나한테 나를 지원하시듯 가케레 그만하더라도 그래서 남비추노 지원하실 레전드 케말라는 남백들을 주 말해서 체리기 지원하실 레전드 케들 야샤라샤라가 단다고 제진다더라도 와서.
So the rebirth is a basic foundation that we follow in the Buddhist practice, right? But the modern science does not believe in rebirth.
데려가서 저들라는 같이 따팔라고 내가 기본적으로 수행할 수는 없는데 저 땅에서 나한테 나로 따팔란 게 싸니니 좋아로 안 매워 매워차 매워지 개우래서 체리가는 그 매워차도 요 말에 판대선대서 요리 요한테 깨는 게 체리가 그럴까서는 단다져 간다서는 나서 나디 쓰는 거서서.
So I was giving thought about the question on the space being stretchable. According to Buddhism, permanent is something that never ceases to exist, right? But according to science, when they talk about the space being stretchable, like they're not saying that the space disappears. They're talking about it being able to stretch and contract, right? I gave a lot of thought about it. It was very interesting.
nga cheri ki tena solo tai me sa nga cha par nga lo chi cheri ja san ro jong he ma cheri na lo tambo nga cha 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 ji pa re ja na ta nga lo chi tena cheri na le ngo kho ri pa na le lo chi ja san ro nyo se lo chi la na chi ji re da chi ji ja san ro nyo cheri ki cha dan ra ta na nga da chi ja san ro nyo se.
So when I was in monastery, we have an option to study science, right? So I took a class in physics for 1 month.
nge ka re na ne ta pa de me wo cha yo ma re sa phan de se de sa yo cheri ki tena da so no ta men do so pe dan dan du a sa nga ra so no ta da re da sa
So it's just my way of thinking, okay?
bi ra ta pa du a sa.
So you see there's something permanent here. The space inside is permanent.
Andino tumba da tapare de urese. Tanga cheri ki tena so no ta men do so da ga cha par da. Ta pe na ko pa than do dilu di no lo ke ta pa da pa than do du la nge cheri ki tena da so no to men do sa ga ra de
So it's just my guess, okay? I'm not saying whether it's correct or not. I'm thinking like when the science say the space is stretching, it's like me stretching this elastic band.
cheri ki to tena ji yo re. To ko tan do ta pa chung chung da la na me ta pa da na me du da. Ta ko jo pa chmo than do de ta pa da pa chmo chan do do so no ke so cheri ki tena da de so no to men do so. To so ai ne ta pa than ya ma ro wa se nen ji de pan than de so re ma ta pa than wa.
So it's just my guess. If the science is believing that by stretching the elastic, the space is increasing, then it's not that the space is being stretched, it's the elastic is being stretched, right? That's just my way of thinking. Whether are they thinking that way or maybe they're explaining it in a different way. I don't know. This is just my thought process I'm sharing with you.
So
this is just an example. If you have more questions, it makes your mind work more, right?
So let
me ask you a question. Like, is my hand touching this wall?
Is
my hand touching the wall?
Yes, notice that.
No, look what that. Maybe you have studied physics. So all of you, both of you agree. Is my hand touching the mug? Jodila said yes. Cliff said no. So the science does not believe. The Buddha himself has said the two things cannot touch. Buddha says that there is the air or the, between them. Can you tell me the reason why they don't touch?
All the reasons? Because of the strong electromagnetic force in the nucleus of the atom
Yeah, true.
ngay la pa ge zu che ge ko sa de lo de ge ko sa lan de lo de ge ko sa de cha de ge ko sa lan de ro de zu che choma de ko sa de ro de zu che choma de ji de tan ro re la re pa de che da ge de lo be yin ye ge na xin ro de che ri ba ge da ro ke la ro da ngon ne re.
So it is said in the Acharya Dharma and Vasubandhu's text that these physical matters cannot touch or can come into contact. If they come into contact to each other, they will
로드 디발 로드 게 채우려서 로드 좋아지나 가장아저 투상저 대 로드 있는 로 있고 말이야. 가서 매드 쳇도 로드 좋아지게 돼요.
Yeah, so he's talking about something similar to the electromagnetic field. Like this will, it's a different term, but it's something to do with the electric field. So when they come together, and then it will.
로드긴 이제 돼요. 디발로 로드긴 쳐대요. 로드 해대 요래서.
There's a field in between those two things that is set in those tags.
단다가 전에 라빠 근데 라빠 뭘 맞추는 라빠 간다 세 라빠 뭘 투하면 라빠 간다 세 투래라는 다트 좋았다고 그래서 좋았다는 뜻도 와서 라빠도 뭘 투하요 말라서 라빠를 뭘 투하면 라빠가 뭐 간다 세 투래라 좋아서 다다.
So ask yourself this question. If you say that the hand and the mugs are not in contact, how is the hand holding the mug? You
그걸
must,
좋았다. 그때는 두 마리라 캐하고 온다. 다 라빠 뭘 투하면 와 있는 라빠가 뭐 간다 세 투래라대요.
so I'm asking Cliff, you said that they're not in contact. How is the hand holding the mug?
네, 그거 깨지 다녀래. 그거야. 체리 들이래.
How is the hand holding the mug?
If they cannot touch, I'm just.
Well, but they can have an attraction even though they don't touch.
그런 성은 다 하면 그런 텐슈도 여러 왔어. 텐슈 되게 많아.
다디가는 라빠가는 뭐라 투 말이나 라빠 뭐라 마투 아니나 가서 뭐라 투 하나 계속 투는데 라 뭐세 투하도 디발로 로드 이제 그래서 로드 이제 그래서 로 사체네 로야 로그 딱 이제 로드라 로드 그 제지 오래 다 되게 이제 그래라 그래.
So yeah, according to the Buddhism, we say that even though they are not in contact with each other, there's the air element that's holding something maybe similar to the attraction, holding those together.
John does it.
You want to put in
Yeah, that was yeah.
Well, now I'm hearing something different because it says the air element. So I don't know if he says according to Buddhism is the air element, but how can you separate the four elements that are holding that all together? The four elements are in constant interaction within the field, and if the field is holding these two, the fist and the mouth together, therefore it's just not the air element, there has to be something more, so the four elements probably. I don't necessarily see it as the air element because atoms are carbon-based subatomic structures, right? So therefore they're like empty matter according to science, according to Einstein. That was wrong, he was wrong too. So I don't know if it's just the air. Because Buddha said there's something smaller than atoms, right?
다음처럼 뭐 거기 체리기 계속 먹어서 다 너도 나시
member da buchasa nyumdo chi nyumdo yo seri ke lana chi nyumdo yana ani di lakwa ma pra to yawa de kha de che to yo ma nyumdo la ka ma chana ju tu ma nyumdo la ka che na ka na de no me de che de lo de di no le da shi de yo ma ma de mo na de zu che ko mo ka na de yue na ya lo sa che sa de che lo sa de che de lo de me de de na ki de 소마 나게 들라요 따요 말 나카 소마는 저하고 소마는 만도 너도 공부 잘하고 말해서 됐단 말이야. 대체가 더 다이나 따라서 더는데 내가 먼저야. 아니는 다가서 다시 전투에 있는데 대리 거래. 다가서 통화하는데 내가 요 말. Anyways, it's not really that. It's not even that. We just for you to think on, okay? Like more, and we'll just move on to another.
이제 케게 들어요.
그 삼로 용았다니 되겠어. 삼로 망아 네가 삼로 망았다니 되고 뭐 상은 용았다니 되고.
이제 요았다냐.
It's better to think less.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody what
Yes.
Okay. I've been thinking about non-attachment. Like originally we were talking about causes, and I thought, okay, well the cause of happiness is not attachment. Okay, so how then and then non-attachment becomes the cause of realizing emptiness. Am I correct?
가세네.
되자래. 그럼 되자래. 착바면. 당한 주상은 착바디게 나란주 먹기버 차야디. 먹기버 차야디 두디 착바레스와. 제가 타크라 마차 착바 매버저와. 착바 매버디가 삼던 거 착바 매버 차야저와. 착바 매버 이나 디가 삼로다나 안 동이가
Can you repeat it? Can you repeat it? Can you repeat the question in smaller pieces? You cannot retain the whole thing. Can you repeat the whole thing again, but smaller pieces?
Resay
Resay
So,
that.
we were talking about the causes of happiness initially.
Okay. So, when la Quran ki dewe ju la ke shawar ra, the dewe ju the dewe ke shawar.
And I thought that, well, the cause of happiness is non-attachment.
Quran ki sambala dewe ki dewa shura, dewe ki ju di chakwa mewa de. Chakwa mena dewe ju do chik.
And then I realized, well, no, emptiness is a result or a cause of
Result of non-attachment.
Well, it is also a result of non-attachment, right? So you're going non-attachment, then you get emptiness.
The realization of that.
Emptiness is
The realization of
Realization
So,
of
Quran ki shen sons la, tongba ni shua, di chakwa mewa tene tongi ki yorwa la. And,
but
ina ya,
emptiness is emptiness, so there is no happiness as such.
and tongba
So I'm confused here about causes and results. Like, how does this flow?
Okay,
How
now,
does this go?
okay, now put the whole thing together now. Okay, so Quran ki sambala chakwa mewa di dewa do sorgo dos. Inege, nan Quran ki jela shen sons, chakwa mewa ki tongi di. 도구도 알아. 땅 똥이 돌아도 창과 도자 샹 디모 방라 워라. 다들도 똥이는 주다 대부들요 말아.
요 말아.
아니 데 칼리칼리 창과 메원니 대와 똥이래도 저는 주다 대부들 라도르다. 난 저는 주다 대부래. 코랑 딱 고생문에서 가래래. 된다 것이라. 알라 똥이는 주다 대부요 말아.
돈이를 드는데 요 말아.
니는 주다 대부게 좀 오치고라.
야야야.
똥만인데.
말이다. 저 당가서 진짜 싫어야 못해서 저도 단다 돈이 따빠래대요. 따빠를 드는데 뵙게 계속 그러요 말아야.
또 어디 거기 나고 대부 말로 와서 똥이.
돈이 대부 말이.
아니 주디 간데서 차르서.
돈이 적그러요 말았어. 적그러매와. 돈이 대부 매딜 콜 질라 또 그야 그러요 말해.
So Geshe-la is saying emptiness is a permanent phenomena. And since it is a permanent phenomena, it is not a result. So since it's not a result, it doesn't have a cause. Now I think we're going back to your question. That's your confusion, right? Yeah, that 똥이는 주면은 아니 그런 어디 그런 지워 맨데 그런 어디 레셔. 똥이는 주면은 똥이 한테 또그래 레셔.
돈이가 돈이 또 알아 돈이 질라때니 제거요 말해서 거대 따빠래대로 또 아요래 줄로 더 아요래서 대 돈이 또 별로 그런 드레마데 ngoporemate 돈이 그렇 따빠래대요. 더 진짜 가게요 말해서.
So the Geshe-la is saying the mind that realized the emptiness is a functional phenomena. That is the result of your a certain cause. The non-attachment is the cause for the mind that realized the emptiness. But that the emptiness is different from the mind realizing the emptiness. Emptiness is a permanent phenomena, but the mind realizing the emptiness is a functional phenomena. That's not permanent.
today. 당가서 다리 뒤에도 저서 와서. 단 네 요아서. 네 시구산을 가서 주어들에 땅쳐서 가는 다른 데 전대 걸로 저러서 가를 다바야나 저는 크셔 와서. 저는 야나 비달에 이메도 천이게 돼서나 니나말 때쳐서 저를 가서 주어들에 찬초도
So, yeah, time ends here today, but the next class we will only do question and answers. So whatever questions you have, please send it to Peter, and then we will the next class is dedicated only for question and answers. Now we have completed the course and effect. Yes. Now we have studied the cause and the result. Whatever question you have, send it to Peter and we'll put it on the TV and we will do a discussion on all the questions. Even if we are not able to finish it next Sunday, we will do it in the following Sunday. We will make sure all the questions are clear.
Oi, Shangju, Sanju, Rembo, Ma, Ba, No, Jewa, Nyamba, Meba, Kone, Godun, Pewara, Sho, Quara, Ravi, Goyu, Shingo, Pede, Dewa, Malin, Jovet, Shere, Zewa, Tenze, Janzo, Shobi, Sendi, Bada, Danger, Jin. Well, that's a two channel. Then it's a page, I'll keep beyond it.